Good morning student, myself Mary Sankla, and today in our subject design of pre-stressed concrete structure we solve the example of one-way slab precast concrete. Okay, now before solving the example we read the given data. Design simply supported precast pre-stressed type 1 composite slab for following data. Width of slab is 0.3 meter, then clear span is given 2.9 meter, effective span L is given 3.1 meter, then thickness of precast plank is 50 mm and thickness of cast in situ topping slab is 50 mm because this one is our composite slab but one way slab also. Grade of concrete in precast plank is M60 and grade of concrete in topping slab is given M50. Live load is given 2 kN per meter square and load due to floor finish is given 1.5 kN per meter square. Here the pre-tension tendons are located at mid depth of precast slab. During the casting of topping and plank are not propped. That means this is the case of unpropped method. Now here we design of one-way slab for composite structure. Now first we calculate the moment, load per unit area. Weight of precast plank is given 1.25 kN per meter square. Then weight of topping slab is given 1.25 kN per meter square. Weight of floor finish is given 1.5 kN per meter square and live load 2 kN per meter square, and total of summation of this load of precast plank, topping slab, then floor finish and live load is equal to 6 kN per meter square. This one is the load, total load on this pre-stressed concrete member, that is our one-way slab, and slab span is given 0.3 meter. Width of this slab is given 0.3 meter. Now one by one here we find out total moment along the width of slab. Important word is this total moment we find out along the width of slab, and this width of slab is given 0.3 meter. Okay, now moment, here the load is act as a UDL, so moment is equal to WL square by 8, but here this moment, total moment we find out along the width, so here we take width, WBL square by 8. W is equal to our total summation, that is 6 kN per meter square into 0.3. L, that is the span of our slab, 3.1 square. Okay, look at this. Effective span is given 3.1 meters, so here we take 3.1 square divide by 8 and answer is equal to 2.16 kilonewton into meter. This one is the total moment of our one-way slab according to width. Now one by one we find out self moment, self weight moment. First, moment due to self weight of precast plank. Here we find out moment of self weight for precast plank. Equation is our total moment that we find out into 1.25 divide by 6. Okay, what is 1.25? Look at this. This 1.25 is the weight of precast plank. Simply moment is equal to total moment into self weight of precast plank divided by our total moment 6. Okay, total weight 6 is nothing but that is the total weight of precast, then topping slab, then floor finish and live load. Okay, then second we find out moment due to weight of topping slab. Again this one is 2.16, this moment total moment into our self weight 1.25 divided by 6 total 0.45 kN into meter. Then we find out moment due to weight of floor finish. Again 2.16 total moment into self weight 1.5 of floor finish divided by total 6 0.54 kN into meter. Then we find out moment due to live load is equal to again 2.16 our total moment into 2, that is live load, and divide by total 6 and 0.72 kN into meter. This one is the self weight moment due to different criteria: precast plank, topping slab, floor finish, and last one is our live load. Okay, now calculation of geometric properties. Here for precast section, area is given 300 by 50. This one is the width, that is already given in our data. Width is given 300 mm and depth of slab is given 50 mm. Okay, so precast member, here the area is 300 into 50. Now we find out moment of inertia for this rectangle section, that is BD cube by 12. B is given 300 and D is given 50. Okay, so BD cube by 12 is equal to 3,125,000. Okay, next, that means 31,25,000. Now we find out distance to the extreme fibers from CGC level, that is equal to, for rectangle section 50 by 2, that means CT and CB both are 25. Now we find out section modulus. ZB and ZT is equal to I by Y. Okay, that means I by CT or CB. And answer is equal to 1,25,000 mm cube. This is the section modulus for precast section. Now next we discuss for composite section. Now equivalent area factor for composite section is equal to modulus of CIS divided by modulus of PB, that means precipitating strain, that is equal to under root of grade of CIS divided by grade of PP. Okay, and this grade of CIS, that means given 15 and divided by grade of PP is equal to 60, that is given in data. Again here look at this, grade of concrete in precast plank is given M60 and grade of concrete in topping slab is given M50. Simply we take here under root ratio, grade of CIS, okay, and this is the precast plank, 15 divided by 60, and this ratio is 0.5. Now composite section, here width is given 300 and depth is given 50. Again top layer topping slab is given that 300 by 50. Now we consider the equivalent section here. Equivalent section, bottom is our precast plank, that is 300 by 50, and topping slab is we consider 150 by 50. Now one by one we find out location of CGC from bottom. Here we find out location of CGC from bottom. At top area is 50 into 150, then bottom area is 300 into 50. Total summation of this top and bottom is 22,500 mm square. Here the area of equivalent section. We find out area of equivalent section, then Y bar and inertia. Okay, now we find out Y bar. Y bar is equal to A1 Y1 plus A2 Y2 divided by A. A top area 150 into 50 and CG is equal to 50 plus 50 by 2, that is 75. At bottom 300 into 50 and from bottom our Y is equal to 50 by 2 divided by our total area, that we find out 22,500. Y bar we find 41.7 mm. And this Y bar is our bottom Y bar. Now we find out top. So 100 minus this 41.7, that is 58.3 mm. Okay, and here is our CGC level. Now we find out moment of inertia for this equivalent section. Again BD cube by 12 Ig plus A square. Okay, so BD cube by 12 and this is the Ig plus AH square. And finally we get this answer. This one is for top, that means this section 9.89 10 raised to 6. We can write also 9.89 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4, or here we write in full form like this way also. Okay, this is the moment of inertia of top section. And now we find out moment of inertia of this bottom section, that is again a parallel axis theorem. Ig plus A square BD cube by 12 plus AH square. Okay, now BD cube by bottom, B and D cube by 12 plus area 300 into 50 and AH square. H is equal to our bottom minus H is equal to 50 by 2 square. And again answer of this bottom moment of inertia is this one. After summation of this top and bottom, we get 1.71 into 10 raised to 7 mm raised to 4. This is the moment of inertia of our composite section, equivalent composite section. Correct this. Now we find out distance to extreme, that we already find out. YB is equal to 41.7 mm and YT, that means top, is equal to 58.3 mm. Now next we find out section modulus. Section modulus for top is equal to I by YT and section modulus for bottom is equal to I by YB. Okay, ZB, moment of inertia, into or divide by this by top 58.3 for bottom one, and ZB, that means bottom section modulus, that is equal to I by YB. Okay, and answer is find it. Now calculation of pre-stress. Here we find pre-stressing. Tendon are located at a mid depth of precast plank. The word is, this sentence given in our data. Tendons are located at the mid depth of precast plank. That means eccentricity E is 0 because tendons are located at mid depth of precast plank, and here our eccentricity, at this point our eccentricity E is 0 for precast plank. Okay, and the value of P is calculated directly from the stress profile. Okay, this is for effective pre-stress, this one is for our self-weight, moment due to self-weight. Okay, and floor finish moment, live load moment, and topping slab moment. Okay, self weight, topping slab, floor finish, and live load. 4 moments, resultant stress diagram for 4 moments. Now to avoid tensile stresses at the bottom under service condition, the resultant stress equated to 0. This one is for service condition. Okay, here we avoid the tensile stresses because here we do the design of type 1 member. In type 1 member we avoid tensile stresses, and the tensile stresses avoid, we equate resultant stresses at 0. Now equation minus PE by A1 plus moment due to self-weight, moment due to top slabbing, then Z, then floor finish moment, live load moment, and Z2. This one is the bottom, this one is the top, divide is equal to 0. Or we can write also PE is equal to A1 MSW plus M top divided by Z1B, floor finish moment ML, then divide by Z2B. P, then area 0.45, we find 0.45 we already find out, then 1,25,000. Okay, look at this, this is the value of this ZB and ZT. Okay, now ZB is equal to 1,25,000 and here the ZT is equal to 4,12,525, and this is the moment due to self-weight, floor finish, and moment due to live load. This all are given in kilonewton into meter, so simply multiply with 10⁶, convert into Newton into mm, and answer is 1,53,816 Newton. This is our force. Now we assume that 20% losses, so pre-stress at transfer PU is equal to 1.2 and 1,53,816 Newton, and answer is equal to 1,84,579 Newton. Okay, this one is the condition at transfer. We assume that 20% losses, so we consider 1.2 here because we assume that 20% losses will be done here. Okay, now one by one, wire of diameter, here we find out diameter of wire 7 mm and ultimate strength FPK, that is given 1500 megapascal, are selected from pre-stressing area of one wire. Okay, if we take 7 mm diameter, then area is equal to pi by 4 d square, and that is 38.48 mm square. Now maximum allowable tension in one wire is equal to 0.8 FPK into AP, because here we assume 20% of losses, so 100 minus 20, 0.8 FPK, characteristic strength of pre-stressing steel, area of pre-stressing wire, and answer is 46,176 Newton. Now number of wire required is equal to pre-stressing at transfer divided by the maximum allowable tension in one wire 3.99, that means 4 number of wire is required for our composite, equivalent composite section. Now required pull in each wire, here we find out tensile force in each number of wire, so that Force at transfer 1,84,579 divided by number of wire, and the pull is 46,145 Newton. Total pre-stressing force PO is equal to 4 into this pull force is equal to 1,84,580 Newton. Now effective pre-stressing force PE is equal to, after 28% losses, 0.8 into 1,84,580, and answer is 147,664 Newton. Now checking of stresses in concrete. Okay, here we find out stress. First, it's at transfer condition. At transfer condition, compressive strength at 7 days FCI is equal to 0.7 FPK. 0.7 FCK, here we take the characteristic strength of precast plank, that is 60 is given, 42 megapascal. Allowable compressive stress FCC all is equal to 0.44 FCI, and that is 0.44 FCI. Recently we find out 42, 18.5 megapascal. Okay, for type 1 member the allowable tensile stresses is 0. Okay, here we we design one way slab for type 1 member, and for type 1 member allowable tensile stresses FCT is 0. Stresses at mid span for precast portion. Okay, now we find out stresses FC minus PO divided by A1 plus MSW divided by Z1. Okay, now PO minus 12.3 plus or minus MSW 0.45, okay, into 106, then Z is equal to 1,25,000. Now after solving this, plus or minus top stress minus 15.9 megapascal and bottom stress minus 8.7 megapascal, and mode of FT less than equal to FCC all. Here we check that our allowable compressive stress is 18.5 and both values are less than allowable compressive stress, that means check is okay for at transfer condition. Now for after casting of topping slab at 28 days, here we find out stresses at after casting of topping slab for 28 days. Allowable compressive stress is equal to 0.44 FCK. Okay, 0.44 FCK or 60 is taken here, and our stress is 26.4 megapascal, that means Newton per mm square. And again for type 1 member we consider, so allowable tensile stresses we considered 0. Okay, now stresses at mid span of precast portion, same equation, PO by A1 plus or minus MSW. Here we take moment of top slab also, divide by Z. Okay, put the all values and we find out stresses at top and stresses at bottom, minus 19.5 megapascal, at bottom minus 5.1 megapascal. Again the allowable compressive stress is we find that is 26.4 megapascal for toppling slab at 28 days, and both value of stress at top and bottom are within allowable compressive stress. Okay, so this check is again okay. Now we find out stresses at service for precast portion. Allowable compressive stress FCC all is equal to 0.35 FCK, and FCK we take 60, 21 megapascal. For type 1 member again we consider all tensile stresses at 0. Okay, stress at mid span of composite section for unpropped construction, that is given in data that composite section we consider as a unpropped. So unpropped we find out stresses at FC for unpropped section. Equation is PE by A, because here the composite section also at service condition, so we take effective pre-stressing force PE by A1 plus or minus MSW plus toppling moment due to toppling slab, then divide by Z1, then summation of floor finish moment, live load moment, divide by Z2. Okay, one by one put the all values that we already find earlier. Okay, and after solving that our value is minus 17.6 megapascal. Same we find out stress at bottom. Okay, and put all the values. Simply for top we consider plus values and bottom we consider for minus values, and answer is my 0.4 megapascal, that is similar to 0. Now at junction point our answer is less than equal to allowable compressive force stresses, and for bottom again that is equal to FCT all. Okay, because here type 1 member allowable tensile stresses we take as 0 and our bottom stresses is equate to 0, that is equal to FCT all. And the for junction or this top zone the values are less than equal to allowable compressive stress. That means again checks are okay for this composite section for unpropped construction. Okay, now for cast in situ portion, because in composite we have to take two. First one is precast and second is for cast in situ. Okay, now cast in situ, first of all we find out the allowable compressive stress, that is 0.35 FCK. Okay, and the grade of concrete is for cast in situ is given 15 in our data, so take 0.35 into 15, that is 5.2 megapascal. Now we find out stress at mid span of composite section. Here we discuss cast in situ, so top stress is minus 0.54 plus 0.72, this one is the moment, 106 divided by Z. Okay, after solving that answer is minus 4.3 megapascal. Same here at junction stress minus 0.54, 0.72, 106 and divide by Z again minus 0.6 megapascal. Here again this top stresses are less than equal to this allowable compressive stresses. This check is again okay. Now we check for shear. Now for check for shear, consider VUR is equal to VC and this VC is equal to VCU, and equation of this VCU is equal to 0.67 BH under root of FT2 plus 0.8 FCP FT. Okay, this all values are we find out. 0.67, width of this section is 300, depth H is equal to we consider as a depth 50. Okay, FT2 that means 1.86 square 0.8, and FCP is equal to 9.36 and FT is equal to 1.86. okay, put the all values and our VUR is equal to 41.9 kilonewton. Okay, and here we find out VU. VU is nothing but that is our shear force, and VUR is equal to ultimate resisting shear force, WUBL by 2. Okay, actually the equation is WL by 2, but here we take according to width, so we multiply with width also. VU 1.5, width 0.3, B is equal to 6 and effective length is equal to 3.1 divided by 2. Okay, and our shear force is equal to 4.2 kilonewton. Check VUR greater than equal to VU, that means here the shear capacity is equated. The value of VUR 41.9 is greater than this 4.2, that means shear capacity is adequate. Now we find out transverse reinforcement. Okay, here the grade of concrete is given Fe415. Now according to IS 456 we take minimum area of steel for this F5415 or Fe415 0.12 percentage of 1000 H, that means 0.12 percentage 0.12 divided by 1000 into 1000 and H 100. okay, because here we discuss for 1 meter width. Now area is 120 mm square. According to this equation we find out area, that is 120 mm square, and 120 mm square according 8 mm diameter bar of 300 mm center to center distance we provided. Now nominal reinforcement per shrinkage in longitudinal direction of topping slab. Use Fe415 grade of steel for 1 meter width. Okay, here we take 1 meter width. AST minimum again 0.12 percentage of 1000 H, and this one is again 0.12 divided by 1000 into 1000 H. Depth is take 50 mm. Okay, Here this one is for toppling slab, and this is we take for precast plank. This is 60 mm square, okay, and for that we provided 6 mm diameter bars to 300 mm center to center spacing. Now this one is the detailing of one way slab. In first, look at this, 1 2 3 4 4 bar of 7 mm diameters are provided, okay. And here second is plan of toppling. This one is the precast plank. Precast plank we find 4 number of 7 mm diameter bars for reinforcement. And for plan of toppling slab, in toppling slab 6 mm diameter bar of 300 mm center to center distance. Look at this, that this reinforcement we find out and provide here, okay. And 8 mm diameter bars is 300 mm center to center, okay. This one is our transverse reinforcement we provided, and this one is our longitudinal reinforcement we provided. And longitudinal section, this one is the longitudinal section, okay. Here our example of one way slab for composite section is complete, okay. And this we solve for type 1 member where no tensile stresses are induced, okay. Allowable tensile stresses are 0 here, okay. Now we stop here.